Hello, guys. Very well, and you? Hello. It's surprisingly, this is how I know that the weather is crazy. The sun came up a few hours, like 5 hours later, but it came up. Like the sky all clear, but we really, like, the amount of rain that we got in those 4 hours, almost five. Like I couldn't leave the building. I had to stay at the office because I couldn't leave. Like also the streets were all flooded. Like there was no way. That's why I let you guys know. Because there was thunder. It seemed like it was going to never end. But then it ended and the sun came up and now it's hotter than ever. So I don't know. I don't know. I think that the weather is like a bit bipolar because they don't make up their minds. And the worst thing of having such a strong rain, a lot of water everywhere, is the sun afterwards because it's the heat afterwards. It's like it's the humidity. It's like, oh no, no. We don't understand. Like I seen a TikTok the other day of someone in the capital, someone in the capital of Buenos Aires. They were filming. They were in the middle of the street, and that person could film like one side you had cloudy and rain, and the other side you actually see the sun. So you're like, which one do I go to? Oh, really? Can you see me well, guys? Because I did turn off the light, the light of above, the regular light. Is it okay like this? Can you see me well? Let me know, please. So I want to cover this so the light don't go into your eyes. Ah, okay. Yeah, because I was like, there has to be a way where you can actually, because I know at some point in another room where I started doing the live streams, I had the lights off, like the central light. So I was like, maybe that's what I have to do. It's just that I didn't know if it was going to turn out to be dark. So I was a bit hesitant. Thank you. No, it didn't damage the house, but actually we had to put like, security in the windows, like in the windows doors, because the wind was so strong that, that it would shake like, it didn't, like the moving, I saw it in the office. Like there was like the windows were some sort of trembling a bit, maybe because of the wind. But in my house, when I came back, I saw that my dad put Like he placed a ladder on top of we have like wooden doors for the window upstairs, and he placed like a very heavy ladder on top of it so it wouldn't open up because of the wind. So definitely over here it was also very aggressive. But I don't know why all that commotion to just stop raining all of a sudden. Yeah, today is going to be romantic. It's going to be our usual Wednesday of romance. This is part 4 of their sensual and emotional needs. So no general reading, no friendship reading, no. Today is not the day. On Saturday, there's a lot of things going on in K-pop, it seems. From the last time that I checked, it seems like a lot of things are going on. So on Saturday, I know someone wanted an update for Hobby, and I believe I haven't read for Hobby since he came back from the military. Does anyone remember if I did an update for him? I don't remember. I know I did Jeans, but I don't remember if I did for Hobby. If I didn't do for Hobby, I'm going to have to do for the channel or at least on the live stream, because every time, like, that's what I do. When they come back, one after the other, after they finish the military service, I do read for them. But I don't remember if I did for Hobby. Okay. Okay. Also, the other day, I started the 2025 readings. I read for the actor Kim Soo-hyun, and it was like I was like, okay, I want to start this very general reading. I'm not going to make it very deep because we are still in 2024, but yeah, I was thinking, I know that we are trying to remain here. Like, I read for the girls because I really am worried about them. Yeah, I did. But I'm thinking now that they are they out of Adore for good? Like, I was thinking maybe I should do a 2025 reading for them, just to see what's available for the girls. I know it's too soon and a lot of things are happening, but just to see what's available. Not that complex. If the cars pick it up, okay, I'm going to see it. But I think that I appreciate the girls. I don't care. Like, I'm not supporting one side nor hating the other side. No, I don't take sides. I just hope the girls find their happiness, their place. I don't know. So yeah, I think tomorrow I'm going to do a 2025 reading for them. Let's see. Let's see. Especially because I'm also, and I think that we all here in the community, we are all very supportive of, especially in my case, I put myself in the place of the people that probably have their favorite idol or group that are going through some challenges, and this is public. So whenever something happens with certain artists, I always read for them. So for New Jeans, I had done an update, and I think that it's a way to also be more empathic with the fans or the people that are still waiting for them. So I think that it's not about taking sides. It's more about, like, you putting yourself in the shoes of the people that support these artists, that sometimes they go through a lot of things. They go through hiatus, they go through a lot of challenges, and you as a fan or as a spectator, you're like, I really want to see what's ahead for them. For me, it's not so much about like, oh yeah, because I want to see what's, just to know what's up. No, for me, it's more for the fans. I do it for the fans that they want to know. They they at least want, something, an interpretation. I'm not saying I have the answers, nor the tarot has the answer. But if I can give you an interpretation, I'm going to do it. So yeah, for me, it's always the tarot is also a service or a tool available for the fans. I always put myself in the shoes of the fans because these are the people that are waiting for the groups, for their biases, for the person that left a group, for the person that got into trouble. If at least me as an citizen this year, I know, like I haven't been a citizen for so long, and actually I went through a roller coaster of emotions so much this year with SM and everything they do, and certain people as well. But even though I know that there's people that are like, no, I really don't want to know. Oh no, I don't want to know. But there's people that do want to know, and of course that this is not to gossip. This is more like to see, okay, what's available. Let's see what's available. Yeah, that also, Chachalino. That also, hey Rim, that also is valid. That also is valid. But because it can happen to any or of our favorites. Like I always tell you, you never can be like, oh no, my faves would never. Don't say that because you don't know. You don't know. Life is a cycle, and you don't know. One day you're at the top, and one day you're down. So yes. 2025, I knew it. 2025 is the year 9 in numerology, so there will be a lot of endings and closing of cycles. Also about compassion and isolation. I wonder if you will see these themes in a lot in your readings. Yeah, it's the major arcana also of the Hermit, the number 9. So yeah, guys, it's going to be a year that I don't see energetically, and in this I don't think that it's going to be a year full of action, like a lot of surprises and just a lot of things happening. But whatever happens is going to guide us to analyze things better and maybe to isolate ourselves a bit better. Being in this process that is very individual, that is very personal, that is very solitary. But whatever happens is all to reflect, what is going on, Like instead of going out to life and argue and respond back and be like, no, because I'm going to go and do this, it's more like let's evade a bit the drama. Okay, this happened. I will study this. I will be alone with myself, and I will study what this means for me. A very internal and personal process, I would say. But it's going to give us much more wisdom. I think that action and reaction is not going to be the energy of 2025. Actually, I think that it's going to be not a very a year without events, but I think that it's going to be, people probably are going to be less reactive, more like disappearing instead of, being like attacking each other or doing something scandalous. No. Hey Yashoda, I'm the one who doesn't want to know. Kira, that's okay. Yeah, of course. Like you, there's a lot of people that they are like, I don't want to know. And that's okay also. That's okay. Yeah, sometimes ignorance is a bliss. Exactly, Irene. I agree. Sometimes, when you feel like, this is not what I want to know. This is not I actually, it doesn't resonate with me. So if it's not going to be something that is going to add to your life, then don't, just ignore it. Be like, oh yeah, like, no, thank you, I pass. But just like because if you guys go through my channel, you notice that every time that something happens to an artist or someone, I always read for that person or that group. So, now is New Jeans. Tomorrow, we don't know who is going to be. Mm. 2026. 2026, yes. It's my birthday, but it hasn't felt that way off day to me. Has anyone felt that in their birthday? Oh, happy birthday, Reem. Happy birthday. Yeah, I usually, sometimes I do feel like that. But maybe it's because I don't like to celebrate birthdays. So for me, it's like I don't expect something magical to happen on my birthday. Because actually everyone is on vacation. So it's like, it's not, and they are exhausted after Christmas and New Year's, and usually they are broke. So yeah, for me it's like, let's see each other next month or the other months, not this one. January is like, the older I get, the less important birthdays have become. Yeah. But I'm thinking maybe, in my case, since I'm about to turn 40, I'm thinking that maybe I would want to book, like, travel somewhere for my birthday. And this is going to be the perfect excuse so no one would come over and I don't have to entertain people. So, so it's like I will go on my own to a trip, I will enjoy myself on my special day, and then I will come back. I turned 30. Ah, you're so young, Grim. You have your whole life ahead of you. The 30 is just the beginning. It's just the beginning of a very liberating and a special era for a woman, I believe. I believe. For me, it has felt like this. I always wanted to be 30. Always, always wanted to be 30. Always. I think that we change, that there are certain things that you no longer care about when you are in your 30, when you're in your 30s. It's so empowering, it's so liberating. Like, and the same with 40. Like, now that I'm approaching the number 4, I feel better. I feel lighter. I mean, I've never been like someone that worried too much about getting old and all those things. But I think that the people, the possibilities that just didn't reach me, or I didn't, continue pursuing, I'm like, yeah, that wasn't the reason. That's the reason. If they are not part of your life, it's because it's not meant to be. Like, stop chasing. Stop chasing. Stop looking for a victory that is fictional, because, the victory is that we're alive, Yeah, she's very young. I agree. I'm in my early 30s, and after Saturn return, I feel like I have much more clarity and optimism. Yeah, you take off a lot of worries. You're like, I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you don't agree with me. Like, I am just happy being myself. Phew, I had all my free songs out by the time I turned 30. It was hectic. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah, you simplify. You simplify everything. You're like, okay, this didn't work, bye. And you no longer feel guilty about it. You know, maybe when you are in your 20s, you tend to give in to social pressure or whatever, you know. But okay, guys, I'm going to let you know who I have on my list for today. I have twice Momo, 17 June, DPR Live, Seungmin of Stray Kids, Luke Newton, or the actor of Richardson, NCT Johnny, GOT7 JayB, the actor Byeon Seok, BTS B, and K from 18. Is K legal of age? Does anyone know? Is he a minor? Because I don't know much about him, but I know that A-Team is a pretty young new group. So I was. Does anyone know if K is, if he's legal of age? K? Wow, he's 1997? Wow, what did I think that he was a 2000, 2003 baby? My God, that's surprising. He looks so much, like so young. He looks so young. I wouldn't have guessed it. I wouldn't have guessed it. No. Oh. Okay. Yeah, because most new idols are 2000 babies. Yes. Ah, the Magna is 2007. 60, I mean. I believe it's a weird cup. It's a white cup. I'm reading it, like, I'm just, like, my eyes to the... There's already idols born in the 2010. Oh, my God. My cat was born in 2010. There's a girl in Eunice that is younger than my dog. Wow. Yeah, guys, so probably on Saturday I'm going to wait, I'm going to add, we're going to do a mix of different topics, whatever comes up, some news or something to read about. I'm going to add hobby, BTS hobby update for Saturday. Then if something new comes up, another Sagittarius idols, you know, something that you want to know, guys, I will create a post so you can leave all your recommendations. Oh, wow. Okay, guys. I'm going to start with Twice Momo. Okay, for Twice Momo, her sensual and emotional needs. Okay. Okay, for Momo we start with the card of ideal romance, the Tower, and abundance. Yeah, honestly, I think that when it comes to her sensual needs, definitely for her, just like maybe a lot of Scorpio people, sensuality or sexuality, it has to be, you know, it has to be one with romance. There has to be emotions and sensuality. For her, it's like, please seduce me, or let's play as if we are in love, and there's this very romantic vibe. For her it's not so much like, oh, I want something sexy. It's like, for her, sexy is the idea of someone being romantic towards her, maybe even a bit cheesy. There's something about her, maybe, liking people that are very old-fashioned, that they demonstrate that they are attracted to you or that they like you, but they remain gentlemen, or they are very old-fashioned. They have these details or these very old manners, like sort of seduce me with good manners, and also she wants to be treated like as if this was like a fairy tale. She's really romantic. She's very romantic. It's like, for her, probably she doesn't like men that are very straightforward when it comes to sex, or maybe their intentions, if they are sensual, if they have like a strong desire for her or a sexual attraction towards her. It's like, she's like, yeah, I get it. I'm sexy myself, but I actually like guys that are not creep, that are not that obvious that they find me seductive. I think that she would probably prefer a guy that probably acts like a loser. I would say someone that would act like a loser, or like someone that I don't know, just acts weird around her, someone that gets nervous around her, someone that makes a fool of themselves. She finds that cute. Actually, she finds that cute. But I think that for her, she takes her sensual needs very, very deeply. I think that probably, when she's attracted to someone, she also fantasizes about having the ideal relationship, or the ideal, I don't know why I want to say courtship, like you have to get her flowers, you have to do everything to make her feel like a princess, like this is her fairy tale, she is the protagonist, and she doesn't like someone that just like is like into dirty jokes, someone that is, that I don't know why I want to say nasty. I don't know. There's something like, oh, I don't like someone that is nasty like that. And I think that when she says nasty, it refers to someone that is too sexual, or maybe someone that just everything is sex. You know, like you have these teenage boys that everything that they say it's about sex, and for her it's like it's so like yeah, that fluffy vulgarity, exactly, vulgarity. Someone that is not vulgar. That's the word that I was looking for. Yeah, I couldn't express it. Yeah, but yeah, if you can mix, you know, romance and someone romantic, with being sensual, for her it's like she actually. I think that she wants that. I think that there's something about Momo not settling for less. Actually, I think that to conquer her or to get her attention, you have to act like Charming, like Prince Charming for her. You have to be that. You have to give her the ideal romance. That's one of the conditions that she puts. It's like if you cannot give her the whole fantasy, you have no chance with her. I don't think. I think that she's not a visual person, like in the sense that if she likes you, or if she likes the way you treat her, or if she senses that you really are really interested in her, you can actually like just not be that interesting, and she will give you a chance. You know, there's something about her, like as long as you give her a good experience, a romantic experience, she will give you a chance. You know, she just wants to experience the romance, you know, the very romantic feeling. She wants to be sort of like taken away from this world and just take her to her castle, or take her to this fantasy land, you know, this alternative reality where the two of you are meant to be. You know, she probably believes in soulmates, or she has this need to believe in these things. There's something about her just being, in this sense, she is a dreamer, and she's very much connected to her inner child. You know, she probably had fantasies when she was very young about like, okay, yeah, my ideal romance, or the love of my life is going to come into my life, and it's going to be like this with me, and it's going to give me this. You know, she's very imaginative, and I think that she doesn't care where these gestures come from. She's not someone that is like, oh, I like the way he looks, or I like, oh, he's so tall, he's so handsome. She's not into that, actually. Like, I think that her taste is different. She pays attention to how they make her feel, or how they treat her, instead of how they look on the outside, or if they are famous, or if they are, you know, if they are wealthy. You know, she's not into those things. And about her emotional needs, it's very interesting, because for her emotional needs, I got the Tower. So I think that probably Momo would want, in this period of her life, to experience this Tower moment with someone that makes her feel chaotic. You know, someone that sort of enters her life and sort of like, you know, shakes her whole reality and her whole life and her whole emotions. I think that when we think about emotional needs, there's a bit, maybe Momo emotionally, she is emotional, but there's a disconnection, sort of, you know, from that, from her emotional needs. Or maybe she's not that impressed. You know, she does have feelings, she does feel, but I think that there's something in her that is sort of in the pause emotionally. Maybe she's taking a break from connections and you know, feeling strongly about something or someone. Maybe she also has, you know, her barriers or her defenses, or you know, even her boundaries. Maybe when it comes to vulnerability, she has them very up, you know, very out there. So I see her that she probably what she needs emotionally is someone that enters her life and someone that shakes her inner world, in the sense that someone that enters and interrupts her, sort of like interrupts her peace, I would even say. Someone that could, even like confront her about certain things about herself, sort of shook her a bit, and also help her get rid of old patterns. There's something with this tower that I think that probably she has been sustaining a way of behavior, or she has been protecting herself from something, and I think that emotionally she hasn't been feeling that special. There's something about her probably being like, yeah, actually I'm feeling a bit cold, I'm feeling a bit detached emotionally, like I do have it, but honestly, like I haven't been feeling that emotional about someone or about myself. She's sort of her feeling a bit like ice cold, I would say. Um, and I think that she definitely, what she needs is someone that challenges all her perceptions about emotions and about and also I think that is someone that can confront her with, okay, what do you need? I think that she needs a partner that can confront her about her emotional needs, because probably she is very dependent on what others want or how to make others happy. But when it comes to her, she probably is not, she's not that connected, or she probably puts her needs into a second place, and probably she needs someone that can confront her, make her feel a bit uncomfortable even, I would say. Someone that could be a bit unpleasant even. But someone that can confront her with like, okay, like, what do you need in love? Or what do you need to be happy? What do you need inside, like emotionally? What role do you want me to play? Like, what are the needs that you want me to satisfy? Or that you want me to meet? Like, what do you need of me? What do I give you emotionally? I think that she needs someone to sort of help her break this pattern of hers, because there's something about her, maybe her emotional needs actually being in a pause, or actually being stuck or being frozen into a single way of being and behaving, and she needs to be confronted about this, because she cannot keep feeling like this. Definitely she has needs. It's just that she has been ignoring them for so long. So this is why she needs someone that can sort of, I would say, even be a bully to her, to sort of shake the foundations of these perceptions that she has about her own needs. She has sort of forgotten about her own needs. Or maybe she doesn't consider them as important as the others. So yeah. And with the card of abundance, I definitely think that, and I think that I did say this when I read for her. I think I did say this. I don't know if I said something about her being rich, or always, having probably much more privilege than her partners, or somehow having maybe been much more lucky, or just shining brighter. I don't know. I think that with the card of abundance, definitely it lets me know that probably, in connections, she will remain to shine, or she probably will be like the breadwinner in the relationship. She will be the one that will pay the bills, the important ones. I can sort of see her just, maybe she will, I don't know, maybe she can start dating a non-celebrity, a common person, and just a regular person with a normal job, and her actually just being very abundant, and I think that I said this when I read for her at some point, her being like this lucky charm for the person that she's with. She somehow enters your life, and she becomes this lucky magnet for you, and you start gaining more money, or you start like, you know, advancing at your job. But I think that she will be like a very, you know, just bringing abundance to the relationship. Either it comes from her and her work, or, you know, she just makes her partner be lucky. You know, I think that she brings abundance into the relationship, and she's not afraid to share it. She's not competitive. She's not egotistic neither. Like, she's like, okay, whatever I have, I will share it with you. But definitely, she will make the person very abundant. Definitely, definitely. I do see it. Yeah, I believe she will. I believe she will. I believe she will. I don't know why. As I was reading for her, I know that there's someone around her. I have this strong feeling. I didn't want to say it because we are not reading for her love life. But I think that there's someone that is sort of like trying to become friends with her first, because this person could be a bit shy. But why do I feel like the word that comes to my mind is dark, tall, dark, and handsome? Like this person is tall, very slender. Probably Japanese as well. But I have this vibe. And it's a handsome person. It's handsome. It's just that this person maybe is cautious, you know, maybe is shy, or there's something about this person is like, oh, I don't know how she feels. You know, the both of them being awkward together, obviously. But this person is very beautiful. Is very beautiful. And I think that there's something about Momo. I think that Momo would be like, I don't date beautiful people. Like, there's something about her probably not wanting to go for the perfect guy image. You know, she is like, oh yeah, I like, maybe she likes pretty faces, but when it comes to physical appearance, you know, like overall, like body, and she is like, no, like she doesn't believe that she deserves the whole combo. But I think that she could end up with someone very, very handsome. Very handsome. Very handsome, and also maybe a bit sexy as well. You know, someone that has their charm, but is very quiet. Yes, someone that is very reserved as well. This is why I was getting Sagittarius. Not Sagittarius, Sagittarius. This is why I was getting Japanese. I don't know why I said Sagittarius. It's a bit taller. I don't see Utah like a bit taller. A bit taller. Very shy. A bit tanned on the skin. Not dark, but tan. Okay. I'm going to continue with 17 June. Yeah, I don't know why I picture her with this person, and I don't know who it is, but I saw it. I saw it. This is why I was like, oh my, I have to say it. I have to say it, because I think that, like, it's around her. It's around her. It's just that the person is so, it's not approaching her directly. It's like around her, you know, like trying to find out about her, like what she does, you know, where she is. maybe going places or, trying to be close to her. If she has like a concert, he goes to the concert, something like this. But just very shy, very humble person. Okay, for 17 June. Okay, for 17 June, we have the card of longing and desire for June, justice, and victim, the chakra of the heart. I think that for June, definitely, yeah, this is him, longing and desire. Definitely either he loves to be playing hard to get, he loves to make things complicated, especially because he loves the tension between the person that he likes, or if he feels that someone is interested in him, he loves to create tension and drama. He's like, yeah, now I notice you, now I ignore you, now I change my mind, now I call you. I think that he is very, he wants attention, definitely. Yeah, when he comes to his sensual needs, I think that he loves to play. And he loves to create this very uncomfortable feeling, a very uncomfortable feeling. But I think that definitely is because he's like, I'm not going to make it easy for you. Even though I feel the attraction too, I'm not going to make it easy for you. I'm even going to pick on you, like make it difficult for you to approach me or for you to keep talking to me. Like he is very contradictory, I would say. He's a very contradictory person, but probably he finds this alluring, he finds this sexy, he finds this, it motivates him. It motivates him to feel like sort of the competition, like, okay, now we are okay. Because I think that for him is more about playing like catch me if you can. Because I think that he's sort of afraid of being taken for granted. So there's something about him sort of keeping things in the air or keeping the connection a bit uncertain, because he's like, no, because if I am devoted to you, or if I give you all my love and if I show interest right away, you are going to take advantage of me or you're going to play with me. So instead of this, I better, I just better prepare myself and I make it difficult for the both of us, because I think that he also could be, at some point he could also hate a bit himself for being so complicated. Maybe people around him noticing this and being like, but didn't you tell me that you were into this person or that you really love this person? Like, why do you treat them like this? Why this longing and desire? And I think that there's probably a part of him that he's like, yeah, I do this because I don't think I deserve this person. So he sort of plays this because he's not that secure in himself. He's not that secure. And this is not about him feeling attractive or not. I think that probably there's something about his life, of course, and his reality that he's like, I cannot sustain a relationship. So I prefer to play, or I prefer to, to sort of to seduce and being seduced. But I don't take it seriously at the moment because I don't have anything to offer to this person. This person deserves more and I don't have it. I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I have other responsibilities. I cannot, offer them a real relationship. So what do I do? I play hard to get, or I know that this person wants me and I get a bit closer and then I disappear, you know, like this. Yeah, and then with the card of justice, you know, his emotional needs. I think that he reflects a lot on justice. When we think about his emotional needs, he's a very just person. He's very righteous. He's a very just person. So I think that definitely he believes in retribution. It's like, okay, what do I have to offer emotionally to this person now? I don't have anything to offer them. So the best I can do is to be honest. You know, to be honest that, okay, if we're going to see each other or if we are going to keep doing this, we have to be equals. You know, we have to give, you have to give me, and I have to receive, and I have to give you back, and I have to be considerate with you. You know, probably he has like a lot of rules and conditions to what makes him feel emotionally fulfilled. There's something about him, he doesn't want to feel like he's owning someone something. And there's something about his emotional needs that it gets very serious all of a sudden. It doesn't get very romantic and sweet. Actually, it gets very fixated, you know, very like, no, things have to be like this, you know, I don't accept this, so, you know, you better do not do this, you know, full of rules and regulations. So I think that for him, the most important thing about his emotional needs is that there has to be honesty, there has to be equal attention or equal effort. And maybe, you know, in this part in his life, he's like, you know, if you are interested in me, this is what I can give you. And I expect this from you. Nothing more, nothing less. It has to be balanced. Almost like there has to be like a contract in the middle where the things are very clear, they're very neat, you know, because he doesn't want to get overwhelmed emotionally. He doesn't want to feel like he owes a special someone something. You know, he's like, I'm looking for balance. Like, give me balance and I will be happy. Don't promise me things that you cannot. And also he refuses himself to keep promises or romantic promises to seduce someone. He's not the type of person. He's very straightforward, he's very direct, you know, he's very inflexible a bit because he's like, I don't like to create false expectations. Like, you know, what I have available is this. Do you want it or not? And he expects the same. So yeah. But yeah, we have from the Oracle of the Chakras, we have the card of victim. So yeah, I wonder if something happened to him emotionally in the past, you know, where he felt sort of like the victim, and he felt like there was nothing that he could do. There was nothing that he could do to prevent certain misunderstandings or something that happened, you know. And I think that this is why he gets so rigid, you know. This is why he puts so many conditions, or he gets so cold, or he even here like is longing and desire. It's like, now you see me, now you don't see me, now I'm here, now I'm not here. It's like he probably when it comes to his emotional needs, or maybe his heart, because this is like the card of the heart chakra, maybe he feels a bit like maybe he was betrayed in the past, or he had some problems to communicate with his loved ones or the people that he cared about. So he felt like a victim in his own life. This is why now he wants to take control of everything in a connection. That it even seems like he's a control freak, but actually he does this because he's like, you know, I don't want to be a victim anymore. I don't want to get my heart broken. I don't want to get your hopes up. And, you know, you and I knowing that that there's no future in this, because I'm not open, I'm not available to give you happiness, because, you know, we can have a good time, but I don't have the time, I don't have the possibility, I am busy, or I have another goals in this period in my life. I think that in this period he's like, I'm just trying to be responsible. I know what I have available. I know what I can do. Of course that he has desires and he's a very sensual person, but at the same time he tries to limit himself because he's like, I have to think about my career as well, and maybe there's a part of him that he also feels a victim because of this. He's like, if I don't behave, things could end up very badly for me. So it's complex. It's complex for him to be, I would say, authentic. He has to put a lot of conditions, and at the end, probably he's like, never mind, let's not see each other again, something like that. Yeah, June. He does remind me a bit of Libra. He does remind me a bit of Libra. But he's a good man. He's a good man. It's just that he's very aware that he doesn't want to disappoint anyone. He's a very passionate man, but he's that, I know, he's like, I know. He's very aware of his limitations. Maybe he's putting his career as a priority and his emotional and sensual needs are on the side. Okay. Going to continue with DPR Live. Okay, for DPR Live, we start with the card of jealousy and possessiveness. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse, and we have the card of prayer. So definitely this Queen of Wands in reverse represents someone. Was he dating someone or is he dating someone? Because okay, yeah, probably his sensual needs. He's the jealous type, or I don't know what sign he is. I only know DPR Ian. I don't know DPR Live. This is like one of the few times that I'm reading for him. But yeah, I get that he probably also loves the game of getting jealous or possessive over someone, and just being very moody, and sort of getting jealous or possessive out of nowhere, or maybe he also attracts people that are very possessive or jealous of him. So it creates this drama, but at the same time it creates sexual tension, and he loves this. He loves this. He loves this. Even though there could be a part where he's in denial and he's like, no, I'm not jealous, or no, I don't do that, but he does. He does. I think that there's something about him probably, saying something out of place or doing something that he doesn't have to do, and then, literally begging the person to stay or begging the person for forgiveness. So he is, like, I think that this is part of what actually he finds attractive or he finds sensual. It's like a kind of role play. It's not that he really feels inside, he feels like this. He's not an insecure person, but I think that he, from time to time, he can get jealous. He can get possessive as well. So yeah, it's very straightforward in this sense. And I think that probably maybe, the possibility or the suspicion of him losing his partner to someone else, or this person losing interest in him and just being with someone else, he sort of gets, like, oh, like, what? Am I losing my person? No. Like, no one can take my person away. Like, that person is mine. So probably that's what he sort of starts. It lights up the fire in him. He may be a bit apathic in relationships, like maybe he takes relationships for granted or her special someone for granted, but when jealousy gets in the middle or a suspicion, or then he starts seeing that his special someone is going out or is going to meet friends or is going to do things without him, he gets all like, he starts to care. He starts to care. So definitely I see him more like possessive, more like jealous. But I think that he's like I don't like it when you shine so much without me. But at the same time, in here there's like the attraction, I would say. And with the Queen of Wands in reverse, this is why I'm like, this could represent a lover or a past lover of his. I think that probably he attracts complicated people or women that sort of make him feel like this card is in reverse or is upside down. They sort of challenge his stability. But since this is in the emotional, his emotional needs, I think that this man is also the kind of man that maybe he needs someone like this, someone like this, a bit chaotic, a bit out of balance, someone that probably is very hard to get along with this person. But I think that probably this kind of person is the one that makes him feel something. I think that he definitely is looking for adrenaline in his life. I don't know if he's a routinary person, or I don't know if there's something about him just sometimes not being that passionate or not being that emotional, and suddenly this person appears in his life and it seems like everything lights up, and maybe this person has to come up with like a very strong attitude, maybe very strong demands, someone very bossy, to sort of put him in his place even. So I would say, because there's a lot of begging and grabbing and just kneeling, and I wonder if he likes women or he's a special someone to dominate him. I wonder if he's into that. I wonder if he's into like BDSM or something like this, because there's something about dominion in here that I think that he's like, there's a part of him that he's like, no, but I am the man in the relationship, or I am the authority here. But then, he feels a very heavy and strong attraction to someone that doesn't follow the rules or someone that doesn't pay attention to what he has to say. It's like someone that ignores his needs or what he has to say. I think that he probably expects his partners to do what he says, just sort of him be like a father figure. But at the end, the person that he likes the most is not like the good girl or the well-behaved girlfriend. He likes more like the bad girls, like the girl that is unstoppable, or you cannot tell her what to do. You cannot, he finds like an adrenaline of life when someone challenges him and tells him no. So I think that this person just like that is not very well in here, but with their chaos and with their strong personality, I think that it adds a bit of fire to he has a very routinary life, or he has trouble also maybe connecting with his emotional needs, and there comes this person to sort of shake his walls. But I kind of think that if this is like a partner or this is like a special someone, I think that this person from time to time doesn't even like him. I would say that this person doesn't even like him. This person is very harsh on him, is very angry at him. So I don't know. I don't see like love, but oh well. And with the kind of prayer. Again, see, a lot of kneeling, people on their knees, this one, like sort of here, like, with the wand, like, sort of asserting dominion, and then we have prayer. You know, somehow him praying for forgiveness or him praying for a sign, and he is starting to believe. But I think that he's someone that probably he needs extremes. You know, he needs to have issues in the relationship, or you know, or breaking up with someone, or just having very heavy discussions, so he can connect with faith, you know, because prayer, I think that he's sort of like praying for a sign. In this time in his life, I think that he's looking for answers to why he lives life like this, or why his emotional needs seem so so chaotic, and like it doesn't make any sense, you know, because I think that there's a part of him that he's like, no, but I value peace, or I value myself. And then all of a sudden, you have these very chaotic partners, or you have these very challenging relationships where there's a lot of like, oh, I love you so much, but at the same time, I hate you so much. So there's this very strong dominance, need to dominate each other, need to surrender, like the other person asking you to surrender to them, you know. A lot of threats also, like, I'm going to leave you if you don't change, I'm going to leave you, I'm going to leave you for someone else, you know, a lot of fear, a lot of attraction. But yeah, with the God of prayer is like, yeah, keep praying. Like really, like maybe, you know, he needs to believe, truly like focus on his own faith and just start believing in something, because I think that the chaos, or that he generates, or the person that he loves generates, I don't know why I think that also this Queen of Wands in reverse could represent his mother as well, not just the people that he dates. This is like the archetype of a very strong and authoritarian woman in his life, a mother or a grandmother, you know, someone that is very powerful but is always stepping on him. You know, it's like they don't let him be, you know, and him trying to resist this but then feeling guilty. So yeah. Oh, he's a sun in Cap, Moon in Aries. Oh, like V. Like BTS JK. BTS Taeyeon, not JK. Yeah, like you said, Akira. Very. Exactly. Very, very. Very intense. Very intense. But he has a type. He loves fiery women. He loves fiery women. He loves it. Okay, I'm going to continue with the Stray Kids Seungmin, his sensual and emotional needs. Okay, for Seungmin, we start with the card of Seeking Pleasure, Knight of Swords, and Gratitude. Yeah, definitely for Seungmin, when it comes to his sensual needs, I think that he would want to experience more sensual encounters. There's something that I think that he could be very sensual himself, or he could have a lot of fantasies about a skinship or being with the person that he likes. Definitely he needs a skinship. He needs the physical encounter. I think that he has a lot of fantasies, so I can sort of see him being like, I want like a stable relationship so I can experience all these fantasies that I have. Definitely he has, seeking pleasure. Definitely he's like, he's probably his priority when it comes to his sensual needs is finding the pleasure. Is feeling the pressure, the pleasure. Definitely, I think that he's very sensual. He's also very imaginative in that sense. So I think that there's something about like I want to experiment. Like I really want to experiment. I want like a stable relationship just to experience about my own pleasure. I want to experience that, to know what I like, what my partner likes. He probably is also into very stable connections. Like I don't see him just, going from one person to the other. I think that he also has like some kind of I don't know if it's like religious factors that somehow like are like his, well, besides him being an idol, of course, like there's a bit of distrustfulness coming from him. This is why he's like, I should get someone that I trust, someone that I like, someone that likes me, and someone that I can trust, so we can have these, these encounters, these sensual encounters. I want to experience more pleasure in my life, which is very understandable, guys. Like he's a guy in his 20s, and I'm sure that he's not the only idol that feels like this, and I think that in his case, it's like, not even like him getting like a proper, I don't see him like being like, oh no, because I have to fall in love first. No, he's like, I can just like find, have like a sort of like contract with someone that I trust and that is willing to do this with me so we can pleasure ourselves, something like that, something very practical. But I think that he's so curious, and maybe it would really make him happy, to seek pleasure more frequently. I think that he feels very lonely as well. But yeah, his emotional needs, we have the Knight of Swords. So I think that Seungmin is a very complex man, because I think that his emotional needs are charged with a lot of frustration. I think that he probably gets very much on the defensive. When you ask him about like, okay, what are your emotional needs? What would make you happy? He sort of gets on the defensive. And I don't know, he sort of starts to connect with his intellect, and he gives you a very intelligent answer, but he actually doesn't connect that much with his own needs. I would say that he even fights his own needs, because the Knight of Swords, it gives me someone that is trying to push or fight his own, in this aspect, thinking about his own emotional needs, thinking about him needing something from someone. He's like, no, I'm fine on my own. I don't need anyone. Like, my life is perfect. I can do well on my own. I actually would prefer to stay single for the rest of my life. But actually, like I mentioned a few moments ago, I think that he feels very, very lonely. He feels very lonely, but he, at the same time, is a really hard guy to catch. It's not impossible. But I think that he is a whole challenge to catch Seungmin being vulnerable. I think that he's so sensitive, or he's so afraid of his own sensitivity that he will fight you. He will fight you. He will attack you. He will get on the defensive, or he will get very nervous and he will try to avoid certain conversations. I think that he tries to avoid certain conversations. Also, the Knight of Swords, I think that there's something about him, sort of like defending himself with unnecessary answers or just giving details about things that you are like, but you are not answering me what I ask you. Like, I don't want to ask you what you think. What you think. I want to ask you how you feel. How are you feeling? I think that he is very much on the defense about this matter, this subject that we're asking about today. And I think that he's super convinced that he doesn't need anyone, that no, I'm okay by myself. And also it's very funny because, when I saw this card, I have this card that is seeking pleasure, and then I have the Knight of Swords looking at this card of seeking pleasure. So there's something also about him fighting his own sensual needs. It's like if you ask him or if the subject comes up, he's like, no, I don't talk about that. I don't talk about sex. I don't have needs. No, I don't. Those are forbidden. So I wonder if he's religious, but there's something about him sort of fighting his own needs or pretending that he doesn't have them, when actually I think that he does, and they are very evident. And also, it's normal. There's something about Seungmin thinking that what he needs or what his body needs or what he feels is not normal. That there's something wrong with him. But actually he's very normal. Everyone feels like this. It's just that probably in the circles or around the people that he knows, they don't talk about this. Could be a bit of toxic masculinity as well. Him being surrounded by people or by relatives or family members or just colleagues or other people that they are very toxic in masculinity. So they don't allow themselves to talk about what really matters. Or, the word need. I need this. For him, it's like, no. I mustn't need anything. Like, I shouldn't have a need. I am completed. I don't need of anyone. But actually he does. He craves a lot of things. And he craves intimacy, of course. But he is a tough cookie, I would say. But yeah, at the end he has the card of gratitude, that this is the card of the third eye chakra. So definitely I think that he is a man that at this point in his life, he is very grateful. There's a lot of things that probably he's like, I'm not there yet. I'm not satisfied in this aspect. I may be, sort of oppressing my emotions a bit. But overall, he's a very grateful person. He's very grateful of where he is, what got him to where he is, his work. Probably he's very proud of his work, of, his growth, the group's growth. So I think that this is why he probably is not paying attention to this, because he's like, whatever I'm sacrificing, I'm grateful. I'm super grateful. And his intuition is very much open to receive, to observe that whatever he has in this life and in this period in his life is a lot. And it's a huge accomplishment. That, yeah, maybe emotionally and sensually he could be a bit frustrated. But it's not that he's unhappy. He's not an unhappy person. Actually, he's very grateful. And probably, this year and the next year are going to be years where he's starting to be more grateful of the people that are around him. And being like, yeah, I may not have like, an intimate connection like I would want, but I have friends and I have family and I have my community and I have my fans. So definitely he has awareness. He's very sensitive. He's very mindful. He is like this. He's not bitter. It's just that he has his defenses a bit up, Thyroid date. Yeah, there's a Cancer moon with a very hard shell. I remember Tamin describing the members when they are angry, and Seungmin, he said he becomes sexy when angry. Yeah, yeah, it's a mix. It's a mix. It's a mix of sensuality and and anger. Because I think that it's attractive because in there you can see the real Seungmin when he gets angry. You can see the real him, like the, you know, like when he wants to act all proper and disciplined, that's when you're like, you know, I would prefer you to be out of control, to prefer you to attack me because you look much more attractive like that, you know, when you are your true raw self. Okay, I'm going to continue with the actor, with the Bridgerton actor, Luke Newton. His sensual and emotional needs. Let's see. Okay, for Luke Newton, we have the card of balance and unity. Is he a Libra? Because balance and unity gives me Libra. The Sun card and the card of isolation, the throat chakra. Yeah, definitely this is very, very, you know, balance and unity. I think that he's a very sensual person himself, and he probably, this is why, you know, he is an actor, and he is someone that he's a good counterpart. You know, he's someone that brings the balance and the unity when he is with another person. You know, he's like, he sounds Venusian, you know, like he's really good at balancing. And I think that for him he's also another person that probably he doesn't have a type, you know, he doesn't have a specific aspect of the person that he's like, oh, this person has to have all these traits. No, for him, as long as you make him feel this balance, this unity, this correspondency, this reciprocity, for him is like, I'm sold. Like, you know, together we can do anything. And I think that he's also someone that focuses a lot on the other person's pleasure more than his own. This is why I was like, is he a Libra or does he have a strong Libra placements? Because I see him just being very devoted to pleasure in the other person. And I think that he probably is someone that if I don't see him confessing to someone he feels an attraction or that he's into someone, I see that person coming to him. I see people proposing or making a move on him more than him making a move on the person. I see him much more receptive, him being the receptive and the passive, I would say, part of the relationship. You know, him being like, yeah, whatever you need of me, like we can make it work. I think that definitely with balance and unity, he definitely loves the idea of being in a partnership. As long as this partnership or this sensual connection or this sexual encounter gives him this balance. I think that also he's someone that he's very, he wants to be at peace in connections. He doesn't like arguments. He doesn't like when things get nasty or people just stop disrespecting each other or people are loud or just, condescending to each other. I think that he loves honeymoon stage kind of relationships, ideal relationship, but all it's all beauty, everything is okay. You are in a good mood, I am in a good mood, you are my perfect partner, I am your perfect partner, and we are always in sync. There's something about him needing this very stable, I would say, chemistry. If he doesn't have it, and if you are very moody, or if you are very changeable, or if you don't know what you want of him, he will probably not find you that attractive. But if you match his energy, or what you bring energetically is attractive to him, because I think that he's so intuitive. He's like much more than the person. He's much more about energies, how you make him feel. And if you make him feel like you guys are a unity, he's like so attracted, and he will do whatever you want him to do. Yeah, his emotional needs, he's just a simple guy. His emotional needs, with the sun card, he's just a happy person. I think that he's a very happy guy. Probably his energy is also very authentic, very childlike. He probably gets, he's just happy with the smallest things. He's very free and wild like this. Definitely I do see it in him. And I think that probably there's something about him just trying to keep the mood optimistic. Like okay, I want to make people happy. Like whenever I enter a room, I want to bring the happiness, and I want to dissipate the confusion, dissipate the bad vibes. Like I want to be the sun, I want to be the one that brings the good energy or the good chemistry. And I think that this is what makes him happy. Actually, his emotional needs is to always be this ray of light, I would say, in the people's lives. He really, I think that he's a very optimistic person, and there's something about him not wanting these happy moments to stop. But at the same time, I wonder like what happens when it stops. Because I sense his energy very insistent on this, about like the happy times, the happy vibes, like let's make each other feel happy and fulfilled, and everything is cool, and we don't suffer, and there's no arguing, and we get along. And like, I'm like, can you sustain this all the time? So I believe that this is what makes him happy, and maybe it's like, okay, my needs is to be this, to be this happy, this vibrant, to be this motivated. But I think that it must be challenging, because I think that when he's at his high, he's like the highest. But then when he's at his low, he's the lowest. Like, there's something about him that I'm like, yeah, I understand that you want like the happy version of things, but what happens when things get challenging? Because life is not always so 100% happiness. So, and this is why I have the card of isolation, that is like the throat chakra, and I think that this is very meaningful, because the card of isolation, I think that it shows that there's a bit of disconnection between what he needs and probably what he communicates, maybe, or maybe what he don't, or what he doesn't communicate. I think that there's moments where he feels like different, or where he feels isolated from the rest. And maybe from time to time he needs this isolation, because like I said, you cannot always shine. Like being the sunshine all the time, or being the positive energy in your relationships, or in your family, or in your in your group, it has, it's a very heavy weight, to always be the positive. It's like you will encounter that people will make it very difficult for you to shine all the time. In relationships, sometimes people are difficult. So I can sort of see him sort of isolating himself when things don't go the way he would expect, or when things are not that happy. He sort of tends to isolate himself from the people that he loves, and he probably remains quiet and doesn't communicate. He's like he wants to run away, or he wants to be, alone. So I wonder if this is like, if he has like communication issues or problems with his partners, because I see that instead of him facing the problems, or actually just letting his partner or his special someone know that, okay, yeah, I'm not feeling my best in this relationship, I think that he tends to isolate. He tends to sort of, the distance between them starts like to appear, or he starts to disappear, or he starts to find or make excuses to not show up, or to just, I want to be left alone, like, oh no, I will go on this trip on my own. He tends to isolate himself, or probably he can be in the same room with his partner but not talk at all, and there's a lot of silences, and there's a lot of avoidance. So I think that he doesn't like confrontation. First of all, he doesn't like confrontation, but I think that maybe this has to do with him having to learn that if he's not feeling his best in a connection, talk about it. Don't isolate yourself, and don't isolate your partner, like, into knowing what is going on between the two of you. Like, start the conversation, even though it's going to be awkward, but start the conversation. Like, have these very important conversations about, like, okay, if you're not feeling the happiness, if you're not feeling that fulfilled, if you're not feeling happy, just let them know. But don't disappear. Don't let this very awkward distance, so the other person has to guess that you are not happy, or that you want to end things, or that you need a change. Don't disappear don't become a ghost in your own relationship. Just be brave and just say it. Say the words. Say that you want to change, or say that you're no longer happy. But communicate. Yeah, I'm waiting for is it season 4? The one that has like a Korean actress being the female. I don't know if she's going to be like the female lead, or how this season manages with these characters. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Nuit, why do you delete your messages? Like, I want to read what you said and I cannot read it. I always miss it. Guys, don't forget to leave a like, please, to the live stream. It would mean a lot to me. Ah, really? Oh my God, I didn't know. I'm not looking forward to Benedict as Lito. I hope he would follow Eloise. Ah, Benedict is the older brother, right? She hasn't gotten out of Scorpio season. Yeah, knew it is a mystery. Mystery lady. Okay. I'm going to continue with NCT Johnny. Okay. Okay, Nuit. I understand now. Yeah, I didn't understand where the conversation came from. I was like, there's something missing in here. I don't understand. Okay. For Johnny, for NCT Johnny, um, we start with erotic bliss. This is so Aquarius. It's so expansive. Erotic bliss. The strength card, and he got the card of miracle. This chakra has gone up a lot today. So yeah, very creative, very energetic, just people trying to advance in their lives, in their projects, sort of, connecting with creativity, connecting with, their talents. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why, and this is when I saw this of erotic bliss, because there's a lot of people involved. There's a lot of energies running around in here. So why do I feel like he's open to a lot of options? Like, I'm not talking about orgies, but I think that at the same time he's like a person that he enjoys the openness of, him just feeling sensual, and I think that he doesn't mind to create this sensuality with different people or in different locations or in a very crazy environment. This is very Aquarius. This is just so Aquarius. But I think that he's like, I would like to try different experiences in my life. I don't know if he will, but there's something about him, he's like, as long as it's erotic, I'm down for this. He really values, pleasure. He values experiences that make his body feel good. He probably also uses sex to relieve a bit of stress, which I believe that the poor guy this year had a very stressful year, like most of us. So I think that in erotic bliss, he finds a liberation. And I think that is very wise of him, because actually I believe that sex is a way of liberation, liberation of, a lot of things, restrictions, your own view about your body. What's your view about intimacy, how you give yourself to other. And I think that Johnny is very open-minded about this, or probably he's so intelligent, or his view about sex is deeper or is different than how people view relationships or, a sexual encounter. For him is like a whole holistic experience. It's not just two bodies encounter each other. It's more like, it's a whole experience. It's very sensorial. It's like a trip. It's like a trip. And includes a lot of fantasies, a lot of feelings, a lot of sensations. So yeah, he definitely enjoys this, and he tries to make the most of it. I think that he really enjoys his sensual side or his sexual side. He really, and he also is like, I think that he invests a lot on. This is why he wants to experience different situations or different instances, because he's like, I want to explore the erotic bliss. I want to feel like like I'm sort of experiencing this out of my body situation. Very magical, very very Delulu, but just very special. I don't know what words to use, because I'm not. I don't know. I think that Johnny would have the perfect references for this. I don't have the proper words, but I think that what I can say is that it's magical. It's magical. It's magical. And when I see, when I said about all this whole people, this whole feeling, I think that when I think about Johnny experimenting different things, I don't actually see him with different people, like for example, different people at once or just changing partners all the time. I don't think that it has to do with that. I think that it has to do with him, himself, and his partner changing the more they experience their sensuality together. It's like it doesn't have to be a different person every time. It can be the same two, like the same couple, experimenting different situations or different fantasies or different posters. I don't know. It just feels like they rediscover themselves, or they push the limits of what they had experienced the last time. So I see them very experimental, but it doesn't have to be like, oh, it has to be a different person. No, probably it's a couple thing, but it's very intense and very enjoyable. And his emotional needs with the strength card, definitely. Poor Johnny. Like the first thing that comes to my mind, I don't know why I associate this with what happened this year, but I honestly think that Johnny has learned to be stronger. This year in particular, this year has been the year of the strength card. So I think that he has matured a lot when it comes to his emotional needs. I think that maybe when he was younger, he used to be much more selfish in the sense that like, okay, what I want, my emotional needs, what I need to be happy, my own happiness, and I think that this year or everything that he has been going through has taught him to be, to refrain himself from being this, this selfish, I would say. It's more about him being like, no, I understood that my emotional needs can wait. That I can somehow postpone getting my emotional needs if I can help others or if I can assist the people that I love. There's something about maybe Johnny being, is Johnny an only child? Does anyone know? Because I think that he had always been like very much about like what I want or getting my emotional needs met now. I see him very centered in himself, but somehow I think that life has somehow humbled him, or he had learned to manage his impulses and not being so self-centered, and being like, now I understand. Now I understand. Like, I feel that my emotional needs are met when I am generous to others. Instead of focusing on me and what is beneficial for me, I stop, I reflect, and I stay still for others. And I remain in there for others. I don't just react and I'm like, oh, okay, everything is a mess. Okay, guys, bye. I gotta go. You guys fix yourselves. I don't know. I have to go. No, now he's like, he has become this strong force of sustaining the others, sort of calming the other ones down, like calming the others. It's like being this person, being like this damsel, being like, wait, breathe, you are going to be okay. I'm here for you. So definitely our journey has evolved, and I think that he also has found like a new talent in him. I think that he never thought that he would be like this source of calmness. He never saw himself as being this sort of like people relying on him. And now he's discovering his new skill. He's like, wow, I think I'm doing a great job. I'm calming other people's nerves. I'm there for them. I listen to them. And I feel so proud of myself that I know how to do this now. You know, he's so proud of himself because I think that there's something about him being like, you know, if it was up to me, or if this was about the old version of me, I would have run away. I would have been like, okay, you guys are on your own. I don't know. I will go and do my own thing. Bye. But now he's like, I have to take care of the others. It's not about me. I have to take care of the others. They depend on me. So he's like becoming this older brother, and probably not just, you know, the members or maybe his own friends. It's also maybe about his family as well. You know, him being more considerate to his parents, you know, and instead of thinking about himself, he's like, no, I have to be more considerate to them. This year or these times are not about me. It's about helping them out. Because actually he doesn't need it. He's very confident in himself. I think that this is why he's like, you know, I sort of understand why I was put in this position of see if I can assist the others, because somehow I think that I'm in control. So I can help. I can help. See, we have the card of miracle. The card of miracle. So definitely, whatever happened, you know, the chaos in his life, in his personal life, in his relationships, there's like a new Johnny. There's like a new era for Johnny where he is seeing his efforts, he's seeing that he has changed his posture or his, you know, how he's dealing with certain situations is so different, and he's seeing some miracles happen. And he's like, wow, this is happening because I changed my perspective. I am resilient. I am helping. And I'm also creating miracles. So I think that he's just, I'm not going to say he's saving lives, but with the miracle, I think that he's motivating a lot of people to keep going. So, you know, you never know. You could see mentor Johnny or teacher Johnny or coach Johnny coming up, because he's really, he's like his mind, his perception has shifted, and he is just a very valuable person. Just like people trust him a lot. Sorry guys, I'm back. Ah, he's an only child. Ah. I'm an only child. I never asked for a brother nor sister. I'm like, no, I love it. I love it. I love being an only child. I don't understand people that are like, no, I was so lonely, I wanted a sibling. I'm like, not for me, not for me, not for me. Yes. Okay, I'm going to continue with GOT7 JayB. I have to rate also for JB on Saturday because I heard that he's back from the military. Okay. For GOT7 JB, we start with memories and remembrance. Why does he torture himself with memories? Like, oh my, this is so Capricorn. Ah, 5 of Wands. And deceitment. Deceitment or cheating. So tragic. So tragic. Who hurt JB? Who hurt him? Who broke his heart? He has a lot of troubles to express emotions. Um, he's so tragic. But in a poetic way. He is a poet, but he's tragic. Yeah, with memories and remembrance, yeah, like I said, I think that this is the kind of lover that for him is more about like, memories. Like it's not so much like he probably finds satisfaction or his sensual needs. He has to have like a very vivid memory or just fantasizing about something that happened with his lover. I don't know, a few like a couple of months ago. I think that he holds on very tight to the memory of that person or what happened or what they did or what that person was wearing or what that experience was like. I think that he finds that very attractive. Also, I don't know why I'm thinking about, memories of maybe pictures together or souvenirs, like gifts, like something like this, something that he's like remembering. I see him just very, and just, fantasizing a lot. His imagination runs wild. I don't know why I think that he probably, and he values more his lover when this person is at a distance or when they are broken up or when they are separated than actually the actual act or the actual encounter. He is like this. He likes to torture himself, like thinking about the past. That last time that we saw each other. That specific encounter that day. He's just like that. He's thinking like, oh my God, like why it happened like this, why it didn't last, why, yeah, I can sort of see him writing a lot of lyrics about this. Like, oh my God, yeah, because you're gone, I remember you and your smell and what you were wearing and the way you look and your mannerisms and the way you smile, all those things he can sort of put them in a lyric because I see that for him it's like is material. It's like, it's part of his craft. Maybe he just loves to remembrance. He loves to remember. He's very specific about certain things, especially because he really cares for the person, so he remembers a lot of things. I think that he's more in love with the memory of someone than when he actually has that person present. When he has that person present in his life, he actually doesn't show that much care or not care. He doesn't show that much appreciation. But when they are apart, oh, that's the woman of his dreams. That's the one that got away, the woman of his life, the love of his life. All of this very, very dramatic. The 5 of Wands for his emotional needs. He's so complex. He's so complex. I mean, he has an issue with his emotional needs. Definitely. This is another one, like when I read for Seungmin, that he got the Knight of Swords. Well, JB is also It's just that JB is more active in the sense that he will create confrontations, arguments with his partners, or just like accusing maybe his partners of like, you, because you never gave me what I needed, and you know, I had this emotional need and you didn't give it to me. You know, it's all like, oh, you made me do this, or you didn't give me this, you didn't appreciate me, and vice versa, because it could also be that, you know, the partners or the special people in his life are also very demanding, or are also people that bring out old or past issues, and it's like always like pointing him with a finger, like, you didn't do this for me back then, and this is why, you know, like we are like this, and you lost me, and everything is confrontation. It's just drama and drama and drama. And I think that for JB, I think that it gets so crowded. This is why I think that there's something about him thinking like, my emotional needs is an inconvenience to my life. You know, there's something about him being like, okay, every time I want to fulfill my emotional needs, people fight me, or people oppose me, or I have issues with my family, or I have issues with my girlfriend's family, or I don't know. I think that people just like fight around JB, and I think that probably he also has confrontation with his people, you know, maybe him with the members, you know, like I think that he's like the day I decide to become emotional and become open and share how I feel, then we start arguing. It's like it's supposed to be a very sweet and vulnerable moment, but then it becomes into a huge fight. Like, why did you say that? How did you say this? Like, why didn't you express it before? Like, why didn't you tell me this? You know, accusations, blah, 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 blah. So I wonder actually if probably, you know, JB is, he has been brought up, or he has had a childhood, or he has an environment where there's a lot of arguments. There's a lot of like, it's almost like a love language. You know, like a very loud family that everyone is accusing, and they are having an argument at you know, at the table while they are having breakfast, and they start arguing, and he is like, he responds back, and then the other person responds, and I think that he sort of grew up in this very chaotic and combative environment, where like sort of the love language is to fight, is to, you know, sort of back and forth, like you know, there's never a day of like, okay, we are just chilling here in silence. No, there's always someone talking loudly, like shouting at someone, and then the other responding, and then the other one gets offended, and then someone else joins the argument. You know, it seems like his life is like this. So I think that in his perspective, he finds this normal, and he finds this even amusing. That, you know, it's like, you know, yeah, my life is chaotic, or the people that I meet usually are very combative, and I'm sort of used to. He sees himself in the middle of this. He's like, yeah, it's part of my life. Like, I attract that energy. I'm used to being like this. I also initiate fights. You know, it's not that he's an angel and everyone attacks him. No. Drama is everywhere. I wonder if he fights with the fans as well. Maybe Nagase can let me know if he also starts like he has confrontations with some fans or with some people, because I see him just like ready to punch you or to oppose you. You know, it's like he doesn't care where he is. If he's going to oppose what you say, he's going to do it. And that doesn't mean that he hates you. It's just that it's the way he acts. It's normal for him. Yeah, and with the kind of deceitment or cheating, um, why does he feel cheated? Like, um, was he cheated in the past? Cheated on in the past? I think that he's afraid of being cheated again. Maybe it's not cheating, but maybe it's like, you lied to me. You lied to me, or you deceived me, or you hide this for me, and I find out, and now my heart chakra is closed, and I don't trust people. I don't trust you anymore. I think that he's still dealing with this. And maybe this is why we have the Five of Wands, because maybe he's like, yeah, I'm over this person, but actually he's still fighting with this person, or having arguments, or just, it has become a long struggle for him, and he cannot move on from this person. This is why we have memories and remembrance, because I think that there's an unsolved business with someone, but it has to do with him feeling betrayed. And I think that his heart chakra is not ready to forgive, but also is not ready to let go of them. So it's complex. It's complex. It's just that for JayB, and when I say this, I think that we are all, no one likes to be cheated on or to be lied to. No one likes this. It's like everyone's biggest fears. But I think that probably for him, this is like huge, or this is like very devastating, I would say. Maybe he trusted this person very much, and he's like, I don't know if I can go back and trust you and rebuild a connection with this person, but he still is not over this person. I think that it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. Yeah. They don't forgive that. Very heartbroken. I mean, he's not heartbroken in the case of JayB. I think that he's angry. Okay, I'm going to continue with the actor Byeon Seok. Byeon Seok. Okay, for Byeon Seok, his sensual and emotional needs. For him, we start with the card of soft whispers, death card, and soulmate. He's so cute. He's so cute. With soft whispers, definitely he loves someone with a great voice, someone that has like a great tone, a sexy tone, or in a specific tone of voice that he only knows what kind of tone that is, that he finds sexy. And he's like, he probably loves that, or he loves to, that you talk to him, that you, I don't know, it can be dirty talk as well. But I think that it's a mix of everything. I think that just the voice of that person is so sensual for him. I wonder if he has like a Taurus moon or something like this, because it seems like there's something about him being sensitive to sounds. Yeah, to sounds more than anything. I think that he likes a specific, I don't know if he ever mentioned if he likes a specific female singer, because there's something about that person having that tone of voice that he finds very sexy. But I think that it's not just about the voice. I think that he finds sexy the way his person, his special someone, would whisper in his ear and just saying, just like seducing him with messages, or just whispering to him. He's just very sensitive to this, more than touching and anything. I think that he loves messages or conversations. I see him very conversationalist. He's very sensual, very sensual person. But I think that this is why it gives me Moon in Taurus vibes, because it seems like he's very slow, like he wants to drag the moment, the time, and he wants to make it last. There's something about him focusing very much in the foreplay, maybe, not wanting this to end. And he's very specific, because literally I don't think that he's like into sexual, like you have to be really sexual and erotic with him. I think that it's more sensual. It's just soft, soft and delicate. But yeah, his emotional needs, we have the Death card. So I think that, yeah, he's a very strong guy. Emotionally, he's a very, he has a strong energy. Emotionally, he is a person that he doesn't forgive. In the sense that if you done something to him, you're over. You're dead to him, literally. He's someone that he eliminates what no longer serves in his life. He's like, for my mental health, for my to preserve my emotional needs, my emotional world, what makes me happy, what doesn't serve me or makes me happy, I eliminate it in my life. He's not the kind of person that he will hang on, or he will get stuck in the past and thinking about an ex girlfriend or an ex special someone, or even an ex friend or partner. He's like, no, once you are out of my life, you are out. Like, I'm going to act like I don't know you, even. Like you died, and I don't know you. So definitely he's just very, he's just very exaggerated like this. And I think that there's something just very transformative about this, because I think that he's like, every time I enter a new relationship, I become a new person. He's not the same lover with all of them. I'm not saying like he has a lot of experiences or relationships, but I'm saying that every time he ended a relationship or a situationship, he became different. There's something about him transmuting his energy, and probably also him, maybe, yeah, he changing his whole life or his whole way of living. He moving out, he just living down, he living places, he moving out, he traveling. I don't know, there's something about him just transforming himself, as that you are like, wow, like, yeah, if you're an ex of his, you will not recognize him. You will be like, that's not the same guy I dated 10 years ago. No, he's not the same. He's not the same. You will not remember him. He's not the same. And he probably is going to be better and better and better. So if you are an ex, you're going to feel very sorry that you're an ex, because he's going to continue to transform himself. He doesn't look back. He doesn't look back. He has no regrets. He doesn't carry any kind of emotional baggage, no regrets, nor guilt. He's like, for every relationship, situationship, friendship that I had in the past, I gave my all back then, in that moment. Yeah, it was special back then, in that moment. But then I moved on. So maybe, there could be something about people being like, oh, wow, like that guy really changed. He used to be close with this person and now he's not. Oh, look at him. Now he's doing all of these things. Oh, and people just probably, I think that probably talks a lot about him. And maybe people that knew him they are like, oh, he changed so much. Oh, now that he had earned this recognition, or now that I don't know, he has more fans, he is not the same guy that we used to know. No, he will not be the same guy, of course not. But I think that people envy a lot his power of transformation. They really hate him. Like they're like, how come he was able to move on and transform from this? Or maybe the poor guy also, I don't know, started just from a very low, I don't want to say like a low environment, but maybe he really started like from a very not so fortunate, life, and he was able to transform himself and to keep advancing and climbing. But for that, there's parts of him that he had to let die. He had to sort of let go of what he used to be to become what he is now. So definitely he's a very powerful person. He's a very powerful person. Now definitely he enters your life, he brings the change. He brings the change. You will not meet someone like him. But yeah, once your time with him is up, he will move on. And he will probably will not recognize you. If you pass him on the street, he will be like, I don't know you. I haven't seen you there. I don't know. But yeah. He must have a lot of jealous exes or people that still stalk him, once they're over, because it's amazing how much he has transformed himself. So, maybe there's a bit of jealousy from people. But I think that he does this because maybe, there's probably he has partners or friendships that just don't want him to change, or they want him to stay the same. And at the same time, just like his strong energy, it's like his life motto, or his whole life journey is about transformation. So he cannot stay. He cannot stay being the same person. He has to change. He has to change. He has to let go and advance. Yeah, and we have soulmate. So definitely he also can be a lot of people's soulmates, because I think that with this death card, I think that he also brings a lot of happy moments, where you actually feel like he could be your soulmate, or that you had something with him that it was so special, or maybe you felt him like a soulmate, and maybe he was. He was, his partner's soulmate. But, there's, being a soulmate doesn't mean that you have to end up with that person and live together ever after. No. These people sometimes, you can have connections with soulmates and it can end, because it's like, your whole experience, or what you had to experience with this person, is done. The lesson is learned. So yeah, you have to advance. And probably he's the one that has to decide to advance, because otherwise the other person would be like, no, please stay. Like, no, 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 let's continue with this. Don't go. And he's like, I have to go. I have to keep pursuing, my own happiness. But yeah, he definitely makes the people in the emotional, or maybe in his connections, they really see him like soulmate. He really is able to create this very special, very intimate connection that people are like, yeah, he felt like my soulmate. He felt like my soulmate. And probably every people that he meets or that he ends up dating is a soulmate of his. Yeah, that's so Scorpio, yeah. When I saw the death card, I also thought about it. He's so beautiful. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't let him go. If it was me, I wouldn't let him go. But I understand. I understand. Okay, I'm going to continue with BTS B, BTS Byeon. His sensual and emotional needs. Okay. Okay, for B, we start with the game of love. Six of Pentacles and the card of guilt or culpability. Yeah, definitely he is a seducer. He's a seducer. He's not a playboy. He's not a playboy. I didn't want to say playboy. He's not a player. He's not a player, but he's really good at the game of love. He's a seducer. It's like if you want to play with him, he will play the role perfectly because he loves to play. This is why I think that if he has certain interactions, especially with the opposite sex, and people are like, oh my God, is he dating this person? He's playing. He's playing, you know, his energy feels very playful. And yes, it's sensual. It can also be sexual or sensual, but for him it's a game. For him it's like playing pretend, you know, um, it's not that it's not that deep, you know. It's like it's just very spontaneous, you know. He does this, he has these very special moments, or maybe he's into skinship, so you know, for him it's like, you know, yeah, I do this with my friends, or I do this with the people that I am very close to, but it's not, it doesn't have to be because he's sexually attracted to this person. No, it's part of the game. He can even do this with the opposite sex, you know. Sorry, not the opposite sex, with the same sex, with his friends, you know, being very much into skinship. And people being like, oh my God, there's these moments, you know, I can sort of see people editing certain moments. Because he loves, he's like, this is like, this is fun, this is like dancing for me. This is like dancing for me. Yeah, his emotional needs. We have the Six of Pentacles, so definitely, I think that for B in this part of his life, his emotional needs is all about give and take. And I think that probably he has been sort of working on this for a very long time, because I think that probably there has been a point where he felt like he was giving too much in connections, you know, especially because it makes him feel good. There's something, you know, when we think about his emotional needs, he's someone that he's like, okay, what would my old self like to receive if I was this person? For example, if he sees someone in need, or someone that is not, doesn't have a specific thing, they are lacking something, and he's like, okay, if I was that person. He has also a soft spot for younger people. He sees himself in younger people, or he sees himself in children. So there's something about him having sort of a vulnerability, a debility, I would say, like a weakness for helping people. You know, if he sees that you don't have this, he's like, here, take it. This is mine, but this is yours now. I gave it to you. And I think that this generosity of his comes from a place of him having emotional needs, probably especially when he was very young. And even, you know, in his teenage years, the same. So there's something about him sometimes trying to overcompensate this and maybe giving too much, even to strangers. And I think that this is something that maybe with time and with certain situations, he had learned that is not okay. You know, one thing is that you want to help and do charity, and you want to help an association or you want to help a group of people, great. Do this with a contract, do this with the law present or with authorities, you know, do everything on paper, everything very ordered, everything very organized, everything just very, you know, very organized, very well done, and very practical, very balanced. But don't give out of your generosity, don't give in excess, because probably the people will take and keep asking and coming back to ask you for more, and then they will turn on you. So I think that probably, you know, with the Six of Pentacles, it's like him learning that he has this weakness, that probably in relationships he tends to be the giver, he tends to be very generous. He's like, okay, I see that you said that you don't have this, I'm going to give it to you. Or do you want me to be there? I will go and see you. Do you want me to do this for you? I will go and be there for you. And maybe when it's time for him to, you know, need someone to be there, they're not there. He's alone. He's alone. He's not reciprocated. So I think that this is something that he's learning now. And I think that it's so hard for him to learn to do this. I think that it takes a lot of willpower for him to be like, okay, yeah, I have to stay focused. Like, okay, I will do only what I was assigned to do and nothing else. I will not take extra activities for others, or I will not take extra weight to help the other person, or I will not eat less to get this to the other person. Like, you know, keep the balance. Keep the balance. He has a weakness for people in need, because maybe at some point he was a person in need. So he's like, you know, I cannot see people suffering, or I cannot see people not having enough. And since I do have, and I'm very lucky, and I do have it, I want to share it. But I think that this attracts a lot of bad people. So definitely, and if we think about emotional needs, I think that he also probably wants to be remembered as a very fair person. He wants to be remembered as a fair person, as someone that is fair. I think that he's like, sometimes you give a lot and people don't appreciate you. So I have to learn to moderate myself, to moderate this emotional need that I have to save others, especially with money. Money, not just with money, I think that also with presence. I think that he's a guy that if he knows that you need him to be there, he will take, you know, a private plane, or he will go, but he will show up for you. He will show up for you, even if he's super busy. For his friends, for his people, he's so devoted. He's so devoted. So, you know, maybe him, you know, being a very famous and someone that is very exposed, you know, someone that has a lot of influence, maybe, you know, the people around him are sort of trying to help him learn different ways to be generous, but do not do too much. Like, you know, don't get out of your way to save others, because you don't know if those people can then use it against you. So this is what he has to learn, because I think that it had happened before. It had happened. This is why he needs to be, I see that he has people that remind him over and over, don't overdo it. If you want to help this person, if you want to make them a gift, if you want to give them something special, okay, this only thing you're going to give them. Or you're going to participate in this, or help them in this, and nothing else. Because if it was for him, he would give everything. He would give everything and just, be left with nothing. He wouldn't care. He would be like, I will be okay. Because he's not that attached to material things. Yeah, and we have the card of guilt. Guilt. And I definitely think that it has to do with, I think that for B is a very sensitive subject, but I think that, I don't know, maybe because he got so lucky, that he is this star now, and that maybe out of his family or where he comes from, he's the only one that got this chance to shine so much or to make it, like people say, to make it or to be successful or to be the one in your family that was able to achieve something so big. That there's a part that maybe, I think that it's not that he feels guilty for being successful, but I think that someone said something to him. Someone sort of like planted the seed of guilt in him. When he decided to become a trainee or when he decided to become an idol, I don't know if maybe someone in his family guilt tripped him and they were like, oh, you want to go and pursue that? Oh, and you want to leave your family alone like this? And you want to go away, travel? And what about your family? What about us? Who's going to help us? You are the boy or the man of the family. Who is going to help us? We need you here. So there's something about him having to make this very important decision. And even though, the outcome was positive, and maybe, relationships with his family maybe are better, but there's something in his mind that he feels guilty. He feels guilty for being the one in the family that was able to shine so bright. Because this is not just about money. This is about when you have that angel, I would say, when you have that charisma, when you are born to shine, when you are born to be a star, or when you are born to stand out. He had this, that maybe his family or maybe where he came from, maybe his community, people were so great. And he was the only one that was like, I want to be a star. I don't know if you can see this, but you see this person sort of ironing, this person is all orange, and then you see someone that is in the background that is so gray. Because you always have the chance, with a little bit of strength and motivation that you have, to go to that job interview or to go to, take that plane, take that bus to look for a better future. Every little step that you take to move on or to advance to a new reality. Yeah, definitely a lot of uncertainty because you don't know if you're going to do well out there. But you also have probably people around you that are like, where are you going? Why are you going there? What if you don't make it? What if something happens to you? All negativity. And I think that maybe for him, initially, there was this guilt inserted in his mind. This is why he feels like he needs to compensate. I want to make the others happy. I want to give them what they don't have, or I want to give them what they're lacking. I cannot bear to see them in need. I have to do something. Ah. Yeah, because you see that like the person in the card is sort of ironing the shirt, being so so motivated because they are like, I have to be somewhere. And then there's this person in the back seated, all like sort of reflecting and being sad. This is why they are in the darkness, because they probably are not going anywhere. I want to say what you see in reading sometimes how they perceive it, like what you said. For a person who doesn't have a very perspective, do you think the reading is going to reflect their own view and present it? I think that is a mix of how they feel it and what is going to happen. Like, because the cards, the message of the cards, I think that sometimes it's like, yeah, this person can view this like this, they feel like this, but the cards are like pushing that energy. It's like, nevertheless, this is what's available. So, yeah, but first of all, the cards always show you how the person is feeling or how the person is leaving the situation, because you need to sort of integrate the two information to see how they're feeling about it or how they went through this to move on to a future outcome or to what's available for them, because you need to see, you need to grab the energy of how they are transitioning this to know where they are going. Okay, I'm going to continue with K from 18. K from 18. His sensual and emotional needs. Well, he got the queen of wands, but it's upright. It's not reversed. Okay. From his sensual and emotional needs, he has the charm of simplicity. He has the queen of wands, and we have the card of Seok. That is the throat chakra. Yeah, I think that for K, honestly, he's also someone that he's just simple. What he finds sensual or attractive actually is very simple. I think that he would just love more like to have a very intimate moment of just chatting with the person that he likes or spending time with the person that he likes. It doesn't have to be like touching each other, and being all over each other and this being very sensual. I think that for him is more about, being in the presence of each other. And probably it feels more like, I don't know, what sign is K? Because it feels more like he values friendships, more like a sensual connection or a sexual connection. I definitely think that he more than relationship, I think that he could be very ambiguous in the sense that he could be caught up in a situationship, or he could be friend zoned, or he could friend zone the other person. Because I think that, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we're friends or we hang out, but there's an attraction. There's something going on in there that even though they act like, oh yeah, we just hang out, there's something. And probably he doesn't expect this to happen, but they do end up having this chemistry or this very silent attraction. But I see that also he's very shy. So I wonder if maybe he has a secret crush on a friend or someone like this, and he just doesn't say anything. He just settles for just being in the presence of the person that he likes. This is why he says the charm of simplicity. and also what he finds attractive is the person being themselves, you know, not like someone that has like full of makeup, you know, and like all you know, is all dressed up, or has like, you know, a lot of things going on, like all beautiful and all sparkly. I think that he likes maybe, you know, beauty that it's very youthful, and it's like very young and fresh, you know, not so much like, oh yeah, I'm wearing tons of makeup and I'm wearing accessories, you know, and just being, you know, very, or maybe very provocative, you know. I think that he just likes the simple girl. There's something about me thinking like he likes the simple girl, like the typical pretty girl, but simple. That is just beautiful. That you see them without makeup on, or you just see them, you know, you know, just wearing, you know, a hoodie and you know, jeans, and they look beautiful for him. But yeah, I can sort of see him admiring someone at a distance, and he finds that very sensual as well. His emotional need, yeah, we have the Queen of Wands. So definitely this could be someone, you know, someone. Why do I feel like this person, if this is like a girl, this could be like a very sporty girl, you know, someone that, this is why I was like, I wanted to say sweatpants instead of jeans, but I didn't remember the correct word in English. But I'm thinking someone that wears like a sports gear, you know, someone that is very active or is very into sports. That they are not that girly, but they are beautiful nevertheless. And I think that it makes sense why he would feel intimidated by someone like this, because this person is a winner, you know, is someone that probably, you know, if they compete or if they have a certain test, she always passes them. She's like the winner all the time. She's like the star or the popular one or the one that always does everything amazing. You know, she gets all the A's, she gets all the tens. You know, she is amazing. Probably like a leader, a kind of leader, very like a strong personality. But could be a bit of a tomboy, I would say. And I think that this is why he probably, I think that he's too shy for someone like this. There's something about him not saying anything, but this person takes over the whole emotional needs part, because maybe he needs to learn something from this character. He needs to learn something from this Queen of Wands, because this Queen of Wands is very daring, you know, it's very spontaneous, it's very outgoing. So I don't know, maybe he needs to be more like her. There's something more like about him liking this person, but also she has a lot to teach him about experiences and expression. You know, like you need to express yourself more, express your fire more, and be a bit much more spontaneous. Especially, you know, if you like me, come over and say it to my face. You know, the Queen of Wands doesn't wait. The Queen of Wands is like, what do you want to say to me? Like, I noticed that you had been like staring at me, like, what do you want? You know, she's very confrontative. It gives me very masculine vibes, but it's because she doesn't waste time. You know, it's like, I have desires too, but, you know, you have to be honest with me. You cannot, you know, keep being in the shadows and acting like I'm not seeing that you are doing this. She's very intelligent, so you cannot fool her. So this is very important. This person, maybe he has a type. Maybe this kind of energy, this kind of, you know, person is what he likes. And when it comes to his emotional needs, maybe he needs someone like this that can guide him to connect more with his emotional needs, because I think that he needs to be much more brave. There's something about him having to be much more like this, or he needs like a friend or a partner or someone that can push him. Gives me Aries vibes, you know, that can push him to like, come on, like just be more decisive, just like do more, you know, like be brave. Yeah, and also, yeah, with the card of Seok, you know, with the throat chakra, I think that he is searching for a meaning. He is evaluating his life. He's trying to learn from different cultures, different people. He's trying to expand his mind. You know, there's something about maybe he was brought up, or maybe in his house, you know, the teachings or the lessons were all very strict. And there's something about him looking for answers. You know, he probably is very interested into getting to know different people. And maybe now that he is, you know, seeing different people with different experiences, nationalities, you know, and being in different places himself, his mind is expanding and he's becoming like this sponge that absorbs all the knowledge, everything that he observes that the others do, that maybe he didn't know how to do. So again, I think that in this search, he also has to learn to talk more. You know, the throat chakra is also again about expression. Like, don't be the shy one. Talk more. If you have a trouble with the language, like practice more, practice more. But just, you know, go and do it. Go and do it. Don't be so harsh on yourself. Don't keep thinking like, oh, I mess up, or oh, I don't like it when I do this because I have like my pronunciation, it's wrong, it's not perfect. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, just express yourself, express your needs also. I think that he has to connect much more with his needs, you know, and being able to put it into words. You know, when someone asks you like, what makes you happy? Or even, what do you like? You know, or what would you prefer? He has to have an answer. You know, there's something about him sort of waiting for the others to give him the answer. You know, it's like the typical person that would be like, okay, what are you guys ordering? Whatever you guys are ordering, I want the same. And not having like a particular desire or, you know, choice. There's something about him needing that, you know, needing to learn to be more assertive and be like, I want this, or I need this in my life. Oh, okay, guys, I'm done for today. Tarot mastery for when you have practiced tarot for a year only. Oh my God. When we are very close to finish this year, we have to do a live stream to sort of review if we can actually, like, guys, if we can like all you know, coincide and just get together in a live stream and just talk about, you know, what happened in 2024, what we had watched, you know, what really was good for us, you know, what was not good for us. But yeah, Possessed Love was in there. Definitely. Out of all the content that some of us did watch, that show was in there. It was like, oh. Thank God it only had 6 episodes. And I'm sure, guys, that the couples that came up of that, they don't last. They don't last. It's just that they probably have like a contract and they have to show themselves being together, you know. But then let me know, Akira, if you have another person in mind that you maybe saw interacting a bit with the girls, you know, another person. Remember what I said, tall, dark, and handsome. So, you know, someone that has those attributes, but very shy. You know, let's manifest for 2025 that we get dating news from Momo. And for that this is going to be great for her. And then that we can come back to this live stream and be, was this that guy? Yeah, let's manifest Momo her soulmate. Yeah, definitely, 100%. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for all the recommendations for part 4. This is like the final part. Probably in 2025 we're going to introduce this again, perfectionate a bit the spread so we can get much more info. But thank you to everyone that submitted the recommendations. I did notice that probably of this year, that post of this series was the one that got the most recommendations and answers. And I was like, wow, this means that you really, guys, you really liked it. So I do appreciate the support. Maybe for next Wednesday, what we can do is either I continue the friendships among the groups or between the groups, or I can do what's next in love, since we are trying to maintain the romantic part of the Wednesdays. I can continue with, I can start again the what's next in love for 2025 for certain idols. If you are up for it, I can read on that aspect on Wednesday. Yeah, Japanese actors aren't as whitewashed, I noticed. Yeah. That's why I said dark, because when I say dark, tall, dark and handsome, I don't mean that it's a person of color. I mean that it could be like an Asian person, but maybe it's a bit tan on the skin. Okay, guys. Yeah. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on Saturday, okay? Bye.